Hey guys, welcome along to Fight for People. My name's Grant Goes, and this is a platform that helps you find the best in health, sports, and fitness. Today we're talking about personal trainer advice. How do you set up your business? Why do you get into personal training? And if you're struggling as a personal trainer, what can you do to be successful? That and more coming up in moments. Hey guys, welcome back to Fight for People. So we're talking about personal trainers and should you get into personal training? How do you set up as a personal trainer? And what do you do when you're struggling? What do you do to make sure you're successful in the personal training career or the industry of fitness? We're going to start real basic. So if you've got any comments, any feedback, anything you want to share as far as your advice to personal trainers out there to what they can do, then yeah, chuck it out there because advice for personal trainers, let's do it. Okay, so the first question's got to come out is that who are we? My name's Grant Coates and I've been doing personal training for about 20 years. This is
Gilbert. Jesus, man. We've known each other for 10 years. Yeah. Been in the industry for a while now.
Well,
don't ask how long. Doesn't matter.
So we've both been personal training for such a long time that we've definitely learned and picked up a lot of different do's and don'ts in the personal training industry.
Because we truly love it. That's why we're still here.
Totally.
Number one.
So what is the first thing advice when people are considering becoming a personal trainer?
Fucking be good at it. You know, you got to practice. You got to look the part. Be patient. A lot of new personal trainers out there get really, really very impatient. They want to think that, okay, I've just finished my course. That's great. Be very, very well educated. Equip yourself, but practice. Be good at your technique. Be good at coaching. Okay. Look at yourself in the mirror. Nowadays, you got technology. Video yourself. How are you going to coach it? How are you going to practice it?
Okay. So what would we do to be successful as a personal trainer from the initial start then?
Have all the necessary tools. As I've said at the beginning, you have the education now. You've got that. You're ready to go. Get your hands dirty. Devise a plan that how you're going to start your session, how you're going to collect or how you're going to pick up clients in the process.
Yeah, totally.
Yep, assessment form, i.e. PARQs back in the days, or you can modify your own how you want to practice, how you want to ask an individual to make you successful in that journey and help them in their journey.
Totally. There's a lot of things, guys. When people get into personal training, a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to be a personal trainer. It's easy. I'm going to make lots of money and boom, go for it. Now, here's some really good facts for you. In Australia alone, like 20,000 plus trainers go through the education, or the wannabe trainers go through education in Australia, and you end up with less than 1,000 trainers still training after 18 months. So we're talking about less than 5% of people that do the education actually remain personal trainers long term. So this is what this video is all about, is to make sure that you be successful and you're not one of that 95% that drops off. So what do you do?
That is big.
It's huge. It's a big, massive drop off, right?
You want to know the honest truth? Because you just said at the beginning. If you look at personal trainers, I want to make money, it's easy, you've already failed right there.
Yeah, totally.
You're not going to sustain it. You got to love the process. As I've said at the beginning, get your hands dirty. If you truly love what you do, it's going to manifest. If you practice it, people will see it, people will get convinced.
Massively.
Easy as that.
I'm going to go into a little bit different here because passion is good. You need passion when it comes to anything that you do, job that you do.
Number one.
But you need skills. Don't be freaking stupid and go like, oh, because there's a lot of change in the industry these days. It goes like, oh, I'm an Instagram model, I'm a personal trainer. No, you're not. There's a difference between being on Instagram and then being actual quality of what you can deliver and being successful in your career. So to start off with, if you're passionate, okay, you have to have an education. Why do you have to have an education? Well, it's pretty simple. If you don't have the understanding of what you'll need to do, deliver for your clients, then you don't know what you're going to do during a session. And if you're doing the right things, yes, people say, oh, you can just move. But that's not the case either. So successful, let's see, how do you be successful when you do it? Education providers, what kind of course do you do?
Anatomy, understand the human body. At the end of the day, like what you just said, doesn't mean you look good in social media, doesn't make you a good coach. you can be, that would be very great. But again, the reason why education is very important, you gotta know how the body functions, and it's always going to be relative. What if someone's got a specific goal, or recovering from an injury or a limitation? That's the reason why you need to back your practicality up with science.
Totally.
And a lot of education providers out there, so you're very, very lucky in this part of the region.
Yep. To be successful as a personal trainer here, you need a good education to understand that, 100%. You also need a plan. Now, a lot of education providers these days, they have a business segment within their course, their
They'll give you a structure of how to expand your wings out
Totally.
in the market.
Totally, because part of being a personal trainer, there's a big business aspect. You need to know how to market, how to sell. You need to know what your processes are. You need to know what equipment you're going to need. You need to have a plan of entering into the market. You need to know what you're going to do on a daily basis, the logistics behind it. So let's go to something more specifically. So you've got education, great. Now you're educated. Now you need to build your business. You need to have clients. So what's some of the first things you're going to do?
Have an assessment plan.
Assessment plan.
Yes,
Cool.
like what we said at the beginning, well, back in the days, we were introduced to PARQ. That means Pre-Activity Readiness Questionnaire. So these are the fundamentals and the basic foundation of how you can know and understand your consumers or your clients.
Totally.
Know their name, know their lifestyle, their measurement. Do they have a medical history, or do they have a injury, and all sorts of things like that, because that's the first rule of the personal training business.
Totally.
For you to understand your business, you got to know who your market is.
It's a really thing, because like people, there's a lot of trainers out there that don't do assessments with people. And let me put it this way: when you order something online and you ask for this shirt, this shorts, this pants, this top, this hat, and you don't get that order, you're pretty upset, right? So when someone comes to you and they ask you, they want to lose weight around their arms, around their waist, they want to get fitter, stronger legs, blah, blah, then if you don't fulfill that order, you become a bad business.
You're going to lose them very easily.
It loses very easily. So an assessment allows you to understand what the order is, what they require from you. And the more detailed your assessment is, the more understanding you get out of that assessment, the better product you're going to deliver. Because ultimately, you've got to remember this, as a trainer, your product you're delivering is the result. Is the weight loss, is the strength, is the conditioning, is the technique, whatever that is, that's what you need to do. And that's a key fundamental start to making sure you're successful and have a successful career as a trainer.
And it's common sense. If you don't meet their expectations, don't expect them to return the business.
Pay you more money.
Yeah.
There's no value in there. So
have those measurements, have those fundamentals, and it's your guiding light.
100%, totally.
Yeah, that's your traveling. That will determine how far you're going to travel, how you're going to train them. You know.
Exactly. So when you move on from that, now you've got, so you're on an assessment. Now, doing an assessment is great, but have you heard the saying, when you fail to plan or you plan to fail? Have you heard that one before?
Yeah.
If you fail to plan, then you'll plan to fail. Then you'll basically have, you'll fail. So a plan, when we say about plan, what do you plan? Well, first of all, you need to plan your strategy for as a coach and trainer. So for example, being, if you want to be a good boxing coach, then is it worthwhile you doing all these strength workshops or going to hang around at strength gyms?
Absolutely yes and no. You know? I mean, number one, personal training has this blanket of helping people how to lift weights or how to exercise. But now again, there are a lot of hybrid trainers that they wanna do everything. Mm-hmm. If you wanna teach people how to box, make sure you know how to box as well.
Totally.
Simple as that. Because you can't be a jack of all trades. You got to know your specifics, and there's no shame in that. And for me, from my experience, you're going to gain your clients' trust if you tell them straight away what your limitations are.
Yes.
I'm going to be good at this. I'm good at this. I can train you with that.
Yeah.
Now, hang on a minute. Rehabilitation is not my forte. I can recommend you to someone.
Totally.
And then you gain more respect.
Yeah. So to be successful, guys, as in the industry, you definitely need to. You should play around with different aspects and different disciplines within the fitness realm. But you need to start looking at, as soon as possible. As soon as you find this out, where you can really promote yourself, mark yourself, and stand out, whether it be boxing, whether it be TRX, whether it be weight loss, whether it be Olympic lifting, whether it be sports conditioning, whether it be a sports coach, whether it be a golf coach, whatever this is, because with more and more people coming into the industry, and we're talking like just in Australia alone, 20,000 plus just in Australia, there's a lot more competition. And to get better, you need to be more specific, because it's like going to the doctors. Would you rather go to a general GP, or would you rather go to someone who specializes in knee rehabilitation or shoulder rehab or things like that?
True.
Okay, so you definitely need to look at, and earlier you understand what you want to do, the earlier, the better. When you set up your plan, and we've learned this when we started off in personal training. Yes, we had our assessment. Yes, I wanted to help clients with fitness and general fitness, and it was a little bit different back then. But what I failed to do at times was plan every single session. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be this. I'm going to walk across here and do this at this time, and walk across there and do that time. But you need to understand the outcome. In my early days learning, well, the first lesson I learned is you need to know the outcome of each session. So, and then be clear with your client about what's going to happen with the outcome as well. So, for example, if you are doing some strength training, then let them know that, you know, you're not going to get that cardio feel. This is more of a strength-based workout.
What's your objective
What's
for
your
every
objective?
session? True.
100%.
I made that mistake too.
Yeah.
If you don't, that's why you write down notes. I mean, for nowadays, people just write it down on their iPad or whatever. I like scribbling it down because it makes it more, I make myself more accountable. So that's very, very important. Writing down notes, because especially when you start building up clients, you're not going to remember all of them.
Totally.
I don't care if you got a photographic memory, but it makes it more, hence it's called personal training.
Yeah.
So for me personally, I do my assessment, my initial evaluation. I write down my notes, I document it, and then I urge my clients to buy their own notebook. Because I'm not going to be carrying around 10 notebooks every day. So they come to me, bring the session, this is what we did, this is what we've accomplished. So it's kind of make them more have a foresight that, oh, okay, yeah, we're heading at this direction. So they begin to plan their days as well. They begin to plan their nutrition, especially for women. Number one mistake that I did. In my early days, I tried training women like how I train men.
Yeah.
That's why you need to educate yourself. The physiology of women are different, especially when they reach their premenstrual and menstrual cycle. So those are the things you need to document, because women fluctuate in their strength. So now I understand, because back then I got confused, like, how come you're hitting your PR in this week, and then this week you all of a sudden, these things you need to understand that will help you strengthen the foundation of your business.
Yeah, totally.
Again, that's number one retention tool.
100%.
Respect your clients, they will respect you back.
There's another reason you write down notes during every session. And notes aren't just about you lifted this amount of weight and you did this many repetitions. It's about understanding them on these days. So if it's about they're tired, they're not getting enough sleep, they're not eating enough nutrition, they are on their cycle. If it's just things that have happened, whether it be physical or mentally, if you understand the details of the person on a regular basis, what you can also do is go back in those notes and you can, you can show the value of you and what you're charging, because that's a big part of what you do. When people charge higher or lower, usually the value comes in the detail, and the detail being that in this case, if I can show you what you've increased. So, for example, you get to the end of the month, and we had a good conversation with Rob Bridges, and he does this one too. It's like the reason his notes, he can go back like 2 or 3 years, pull up and say, like, show you what you were, where you're at, and now where you are in a couple of years' time. But every month, if you can show the progress. For example, being that if you at the start of the month, you were stressed, you were going through anxiety, maybe you had a lost friend, so you had a bit of depression going on, then it gives you more understanding of the pathway you've taken and what you have improved and what you could have increased and what problems came up earlier, and it shows value to you as a trainer or a coach, and people have better understanding. Because that's where we get lost with as personal trainers. We say we don't retain our clients. Well, it's because you're not showing them the value of what you've delivered. You may have said they want to lose weight, they've shown they've lost weight, but there's probably other things that you're not identifying or making them aware of that are happening at the same time.
True, and in a business perspective, writing down notes helps you in many, many different ways. For example, what you have said, if it's weight loss, that's pretty short-term goal. Now, if you want to secure your business, you want to help your clients build new goals. I'll give you an example. I got one client that just want to have general fitness. He just go with the flow, and then he started discovering, all right, this is where you progressed. How about we put you on a challenge? How about we join obstacle races? So it becomes more of a relationship. So the return of business is a lot more sustainable. And like what Grant said, if you don't know your numbers, your business is fragile.
Yeah, very
You,
fragile.
you got to make an audit. It makes sure you and your member or your participants understand that this is where we started, this is the middle, this is where we're heading, and probably build more from that.
Yeah, massively. Guys, we're talking about business, how to be successful as a personal trainer. We're going to talk about more about that. So if you have any comments, questions, please share them in the comment section down below. But be back straight after this. Hey guys, welcome back to Fine for People. We're talking about how to be successful as a PT. We've talked about, make sure you got the right education, make sure you're in it for the right reasons, make sure you have a plan in place, make sure you take notes at the start, at each session, record all the details, because it shows value in your sessions and what you're doing. Some advice. If you've got questions, if you have any thoughts you'd like to share them please in the comment section down below. But here's a few good things I'm going to throw at you. Now, when you think about a business, everything's got marketing, it's got services, it's got retention's probably one of the biggest things you need. So acquisition and retention. Acquisition is you building your clients. How do you get clients? Let's look at that for now. How do you find clients? Because that's a common question, and why people fail is because they can't find clients to personal train. So what are some things people can do to make sure that they can find clients?
That's a funny question. Know your market and know what you're good at. If you're a swimmer, you're not going to go to a bowling alley and pick up members. Simple as that. If you want to be a really, really good personal trainer, I strongly advise, there's a lot of commercial health clubs out there, get your hands dirty, especially if you're new in the market. Get your hands dirty, go to the gym, get yourself known, because that's the best place to pick up opportunities.
Massively.
And then commercial health clubs, they already got a name. People will trust that health club. So obviously, I'm not going to go to a restaurant to look for a knee surgeon.
Exactly.
Lucky if somebody knows that I'm limping and there's a surgeon there by chance. So these are the practical things, and these are very, very helpful advice for me, because I was being impatient back in my days. I want to delve into it straight away. I want to build my own business straight away. But that is the step, being patient and getting your hands dirty. And this just not go to personal trainers out there that want to practice it in the gym. Again, if you're a basketball coach, if you're a swimming coach, you want to be in that environment, because that's where people go. And obviously, create your own persona, create your own identity.
Yeah, massively.
Leaflets, social media, word of mouth. Number one.
There's to build on top of that, when you think about your business and you think about numbers, like when you look at any industry, it's the same thing. Sales comes down to numbers. Okay, so and there's this thing called the sales funnel. If you haven't heard of the sales funnel, it's a very simple concept. You get seen by as many people as possible, and then from those many people that you've seen, some of those will say may be interested in personal training with you, and then there'll be a portion of that will be they'll actually take you on as a personal trainer. And so you've got to look to how do you break this down. So if for example, Bean, if you only see 10 people in a month, I mean like you actually talk to only 10 people, or you put yourself out there to only 10 people, then don't expect to get 10 clients on board. You need to put yourself out there to say, like, I'm seeing, let's say, for example, I see 1,000 people in a month. I'm just talking to this person, I've met some people, whatever like that, and then out of that 1,000 people, 10 of them have shown interest in personal training, and then out of those 10 people, one of those persons has actually taken on the service of my personal training service, right? So the fundamentals of any business is that's a sales funnel, that's what you can expect. So if you are only talking to the same 10 people week in and week out,
don't expect a different result.
Don't expect a different result. You need to be seeing different and new people to make up, let's say, okay, probably 1,000 was a bit bigger number, but anyway, let's say 100 people in a month, 100 new people, Okay, out of 100 new people, 10 people are interested in personal training, one of them takes you on. Think about it like that. So to get on one new client, you need to talk to 100 new people every single month. Over 12 months, you've taken on 12 new clients. Now, this is a low-end scale here, but hopefully you get the understanding of what's required to take on or find trainers. Now, if people talk about, oh, I'm loyal to this club and I'm loyal to this application or something like that, which is fine, this is great. And if you're within a club, it's the same concept. If you're only talking to one or two people in a day on a shift, then you're going to struggle to find new clients.
You're just attached to one location.
Totally. So the result here is, guys, to be successful in this, you need to put in the time. People don't do it because they feel lazy. People don't do it because they feel shy. I'm sorry, but it simply comes down to, if you don't put in time, don't expect to get the treats. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, if you're stubborn enough not to do your hours in the gym, if you really want to immediately, if you believe that you can build up your own business on your own, and then utilize social media, content. If you want to be known, put yourself out there. Totally. Simple as that.
Great point.
Practice, show your hustle. What are you doing? Practicality. People obviously get attached to how they visualize you. They can relate to you. If you're always out there practicing giving tips, and then people will immediately buy into that, and they will know you or they will think that they know you already. So if they need your service, guess what? They will contact you.
100%.
That is if you don't want to get your hands dirty in the gym, but I suggest you get your hands dirty in the gym.
Totally. Okay, next part of that, when you've got clientele coming up towards you, and there's that part of that sales funnel where you're talking to 10 people, okay? Now, there is if you've set up your business correctly, you're not scared to lose clients because you do what you do and you do it well. So
how would you set up your business correctly, Grant, as a personal trainer?
So for me, it's actually, this is what I've learned. This is what like making mistakes, a lot of mistakes, and people say you got to make mistakes. I said, well, you can learn from other people's mistakes and make less. But what I've learned is that you've really got to understand what you're going to do. For example, if you say I personal train in these areas, I do weight loss, I do strength train, I do sports conditioning. Okay, I'm available at Monday to Friday only, and I'm available from 8 a.m. till 2 p.m. These are my times, okay? And this is how I do my training. I have this assessment for this, for strength and conditioning. I have this assessment for weight loss. I have this assessment for sports coaching. This is who I am. This is my business. This is what I do because I can do it well and I'm most confident in it, okay? So when someone comes up to me, I can first of all go like, great, here's what I offer. Here's the pricing and the value, why it's valued at that. And here's what I can do. Now, people will always come up to you and they'll go like...
identify your skill set.
Identify straight up.
Be honest with it, yeah.
Yeah, and be honest with it, totally. So people come to me and say, boxing? No, I don't do boxing. I'm not a boxing coach. I can do boxing fitness. Yes, I can use it as in general fitness, but I don't... That's not my skill set.
Yeah.
So what it also allows you to do is like when you go to any business and you ask, what do you do? And they can tell you directly, this is what I do. Great. You know off the bat. So first of all, what it does, it starts to build trust. From then, to set up your business, if this is what I do, then I make sure I have the equipment, the tools, the processes, the logistics in place to make sure I execute that brilliantly, perfectly. So for example, we had a conversation the other day, it was about people saying like, oh, I'm going to wait until see what's available for them and where they are. So for example, a big thing out there now these days is mobile training. Well, that's all good and true, but are you going to travel 300 kilometers away from where you are to train someone? No, probably not. I mean, it's very unlikely. So there's a limitation to the radius of which or the distance you're willing to travel. Okay, and for me, for example, let's say we'll make it more realistic, saying I'm not going to travel more than 5 kilometers away from my space because it's going to take me a long time to travel, and all the travel time over a period of a week adds up to maybe a day worth of just traveling.
I heard a lot of trainers that obviously eventually understand and realize that mistake, especially if they're new in the market and then they get desperate. You live like 10,000 kilometers away from this member, and then that's your first client. I'm going to grab it because I need money. I need to pay my bills. And then her clientele starts building up. And then now you've got another client on the other side of the country. Now you're like, wasting
So
time.
that's the biggest mistake,
those
massively.
are, I mean, you kind of understand them when you're trying to build business. It boils
People
down again
kill
to-
themselves all the time in personal
You gotta
training because
look
they
after number one.
Yeah.
You.
They limit personal training's biggest mistake I see with personal trainers is they limit themselves with the ability to grow. So what happens is they take on a client that's too far away, or at times of the day they don't want to train. Now that some people, I was given this advice actually, said just train everyone anytime, just make it happen. So I did that. What happened was I got in this position where, well, I've been training these guys for 4 months. I don't like training this time of day, but I've got someone else who trains, who wants to train when I actually want to train, and I can't drop them because of whatever reasons, right? Or I've got someone that lives 10 kilometers, I had 10 kilometers away, and I've been training them for 3 months, and now I've got someone who's 1K away, who wants to do the same times, but now I've got to drop them in order to take them. So that's what I'm saying. From the start, you've got to think long term. Long term success, longevity is the key to a business,
You
not
gotta
short
plan how
term.
you want to allocate your hours
Totally.
during the day.
So allocate your hours, because here's the truth of it. There is thousands, millions of people in the world that want your services. You have to understand this. And if you set your parameters for your time of day you're training, from the distance that you're willing to travel, because of example, then you will find someone who's willing to do and take on that what you offer. Okay, simple. So if you're saying I only train 7, 8, and 9 o'clock in the mornings, and I only do it at this location, you will find someone eventually like that's going to come and train at that location at that time. It will happen. People get desperate, or they think I've got to do it faster. If they start making adjustments here and there, but what ultimately it does, it starts to hinder your business. So if you're going to offer your best service, you say I do 8, 9, and 10 at this one location, and then you can offer. It allows you to offer your best service to the client, which means the client gets the results, the client gets the service, the client gets the information, the client sees the value. The client then refers you word of mouth to other people out there and say, these are my hours, my times, my locations. And this is the value behind it as well. And if they, there's other reasons. You can't just think it's not personal. Not personal. It's not against you if they cannot do those times. It's okay. It's okay to say no. It's okay to pass. It's okay to not have to take them on.
Can't please everybody.
You can't please everybody, totally.
Not unless you want to jump into group personal training. That's a different story.
So definitely something to be successful. Set your parameters, set your timing, set your niche, set your hours, set your pricing, and just believe in it and go from there. And it will happen 100%.
And one more thing that I would love to really, really share, because it works for me and it works for some successful trainers. That number one, you got to define what success is to you. If you have contentment, and of course you're building up the numbers. If it's sustainable, number one is your health, because it's a really exhausting job. Because I did this mistake when I was at Fitness First, and it's a commercial gym. I got busy very, very quickly because of classes, and then you start doing hour per hour. You forget when to eat. And then I had this stupid question that, do you train? Of course I do. But you neglect that, you stop enhancing yourself. Number one thing why you become a very, very good trainer is because you're a good example. So that's why, again, it goes back to my number one, my other tip. Find a location because you can maximize your time. If you can do back-to-back there, that's a win-win situation.
Absolutely.
And then your clients will respect you for that.
100%.
And this is how my rate goes, because they can see and understand how busy you are. They have the value for your time. So rather than, yes, sometimes you have to build in the hours, you have to drive from here to there. That's how your experience grows. But once you start building up, find the location. Have an agreement with that location. There's a lot of gyms out there, so don't kill yourself. That's number one. Find a location, see if you can maximize your hours in there, do back-to-backs. Be successful.
100%. Dunsky. Guys, if you have any comments, questions, let us know. If you got thoughts, let us know as well. But there are some very fundamentals to being a successful trainer. There's an abundance out there for you to be successful. And actually, one of those last things I was thinking on here is when you do see yourself up correctly, and you have the right amount of trainers, the right amount of clients, you'll get to a point where you say, I'm only doing 10 clients a week, for example, and you started off by charging $50 a session. When you are full with clients, if you've got many people on the books, people that want to train with you still, then look, at the end of the day, to increase your monthly or weekly revenue, you would simply increase your pricing. the value would go up. And that's how you increase your weekly, monthly revenue without burning out. You know,
make sure you set yourself up with parameters. Have a training agreement.
Yes.
I always thought, be clear at the very beginning. You know, you just don't shake hands. Great if you trust the person, but you never know. You never know. A long-lasting relationship, it's like marriage. You know, you got to have an agreement. Hey,
you got to sign a document then too.
Yeah, you got to sign a document. At the end of the day, it's business. It makes you look more professional. These are my parameters. This is how much I charge. This is the expiration. I put expiration date. I have an 8-hour cancellation notice, and then it kind of gives everybody, you know, works. So in the same way that you respect their professionalism, it's the same way you expect them to respect your professionalism.
100%.
Cool. Protect your business. Have an agreement, make them sign it. That's number one. Everything's number one for me.
Sure, guys, thank you very much for joining us. Remember, if you want any more topics that you want to talk about, if you have any more questions, chuck them in the comment section down below. Remember, the Find Fit People app is now available on Android and Android, Google Play, or Apple iPhone from the App Store. Download it. Find professionals, find events, find courses. It's all there on the Find Fit People platform. Until tomorrow at 10:30, we will see you then. Take care. Bye now.
We've all been there, hours searching the internet, asking friend upon friend, making call after call, trying to find the right fitness professional, health specialist, or sports coach. So much time, energy, and even money spent only to find more problems than solutions. Well, now, with the Find Fit People platform, you can find all the available professionals with the skills you need in an instant. We've removed all the barriers by establishing a community of many different skilled health specialists, sports coaches, and fitness professionals that are alerted immediately once you've posted your request. In under 30 seconds, you can attract multiple professionals with the right skills to help you achieve the result you want. It's simple, fast, and free. Find us online at www.findfitpeople.com or download the Find Fit People app from Apple or Google Play stores so you can find fit people today.